George actually gave them a job. It was pretty much like any other nightclub gig, except Snug Harbor was by far superior to all the rest of those nightclubs.
For many years, Snug Harbor has been the preeminent jazz club in New Orleans. It has always attracted the most stellar musicians in the New Orleans area, as well as nationally and internationally. And so because of that, it's always been a great inspiration to local musicians who aspire to be jazz artists as well. Another great thing about Snug Harbor is the fact that they've always stood by their musicians. The late George Brumat, who just passed away early in the summer, was the owner and the proprietor of Snug Harbor for many years. And he always guaranteed the local musicians at Snug Harbor a guaranteed pay. Even if there was only 15 people in the audience, you could be assured that the musicians were going to be paid well.
And Snug is not just another club. It really has become one of the premier clubs across the country.
And so for me, it was always a place to go hear the best of the best and a place to aspire to play. The many times I've played at Snug Harbor have always been special performances for me and something I've always looked forward to because I realized I was sharing the stage with some great legends.
Hopefully, the up-and-coming young jazz musicians will find their way to Snug Harbor.
It's very important to have a real-life performance outlet for students. It's great what we do here. We play 5 days a week, but it always, takes on another dimension when you're up in front of an audience.
Well, being on a stage in front of a live audience is an experience that can't be quite duplicated in the classroom setting. They really get the give and take of the audience. They really get a sense of what it's like to perform for people, to get that live feedback from complete strangers, and not just their parents and their peers, who are often willing to clap for just about anything. But at Snug Harbor, they will clap when it's good, and they won't clap when it's not good.
We've always seen young talent in this town, far exceeding, I think, other cities for a natural affinity toward music. We've been proud to be there as a facilitator so that these artists can start out as early as they feel comfortable with being in front of an audience.
Most people don't have it together at 17 or 18, 19 years old. So I figured, when these cats really want to be serious, I should give them an opportunity to express themselves in a serious way.
To carry on our tradition, Jesse McBride, the next generation, is made up of a band of young folks, and they compose and move what they're doing forward, and then especially the last set, they open it up to a lot of different folks, mostly high school kids.
Jason Patterson and the late George Brumat, he gave everybody who was aspiring a chance. If you were serious, and it'd be good if you played with some older established musician so they could see that you were serious, because older cats ain't gonna waste their time if you're not. So that was one way in, and that really helped encourage people, to practice and be serious about music and about life, because it's kind of difficult to just be serious about one of those.
NOCCA, of course, has been around since the 70s, so we've been getting graduates perpetually from that institution as long as this club's been around.
I saw Jesse McBride there, and I see him every Tuesday. That's like my usual schedule for Tuesday. Go see Jesse McBride. It's really a great moment when you get to play there, because it's just like I'm sitting with all these professionals. I'm getting to play with them all, in the spotlight when everybody's looking at you and you feel really inspired. You're not overexcited, you're just enough to really make the music feel nice and good as it should be.
I started playing at Snug Harbor my senior year, so it was like taking everything that I learned at NOCCA and going straight to the stage. Snug Harbor gave me the opportunity to mess up, They gave me an opportunity to like try everything out on stage and just have that it's kind of like a safety net almost. Like you can fall and we'll catch you, don't worry about it, we want you to be great. It was one of the greatest experiences I ever had, so it was pretty good.
The one thing I learned the most is communication. Just really helped my communication skills, because playing with people that you don't get to play with too often, you really have to look around and figure out what's going on, And if they're about to end, then you got to know that you're about to end. You got to really be looking around and communicating with people around you.
Because you're just jumping right in there with people you don't really play with. So it's like you got to be able to have that skill and be able to do it right on the spot with people you've never played with before or rarely played with. So it's kind of like it's a growing experience, because it's just like you get thrown in the fire and you have to learn how to adapt.
George was definitely a nurturer, and he would identify talent and then acknowledge it and support them and make them feel comfortable in this room so that they could, lose that chill and that awkwardness and focus on their craft and being a performer and be all they can be.
Because even if you weren't personally familiar with him, you always saw him, and you always expected to see him when you go to Snug. So it's like, with him gone, it was kind of like, it's a little bit weird for a second,
Right now, there's a new wave of musicians who's coming out of NOCCA, like your young Charles Burchells, Jason Weavers, Julian Labatt's, hopefully Miles Labatt. It's going to need a lot of effort from the students as well, being motivated to go on stage and have the confidence to do it, and just passing it on. That's what it's all about.
I think we all need each other. We give them hope when we're doing the right thing, and they inspire us to achieve what they have, achieved in their musicality and their, humanity and all those things. And hopefully we can even do a little better.